Today I'm testing out the motion controller with the goggles working with the Mini 3 Pro. So I really wanted to talk through my experiences, what it feels like. As you would know if you checked out my Avata videos, absolutely love the motion controller and the Avata is so much fun to use. But I also really love the Mini 3 Pro. It's a great flight experience, and to be able to use the motion controller, get some cool FPV shots with something like this is going to be a lot of fun. My name is Dan Davis and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, which is Australia's #1 ranked drone YouTube channel. I actually am giving away a Mini 3 Pro. It comes with the DJI RC, which is the controller with the little screen on it. So definitely make sure to enter that giveaway. It'll pop up on the screen now. I'll have a link below, as well as a link to actually enter the giveaway. So make sure to enter that. It is only for Australian viewers right now. This is to celebrate 50,000 subscribers, but I also will have an international drone giveaway coming very soon, so please do not be disheartened. I'm trying to offer a bunch of different giveaways over the coming months, and let's jump into it. Let's see how well the Mini 3 Pro performs with this rig here. Keep in mind, like I said, this rig here with the goggles and the motion controller only works with the Motion 2, so the latest motion controller from DJI. It will not work with the original, unfortunately. To actually get it all set up isn't too hard, but what I had to do was I had to basically connect this up to the headset, plug this into my phone, connect it up to the controller and everything, and once everything was all set up, ready to go, I could disconnect everything, and now as you see, I've just got the motion controller and the headset, and the drone is now ready to go. The new motion controller does feel great. It feels extremely responsive and agile, and it does everything that you need it to. I'm very disappointed that the original motion controller does not work with the Mini 3 Pro. I know a lot of people will be upset about that as well, because people out there have the Avata, they have the Mini 3 Pro, they then had to go out and buy a new motion controller. A little bit disappointing, but this new motion controller feels great. Like I said, feels very similar to the original. We do have this new kind of braking option now, so you can push away from yourself to brake, which is nice, feels very natural, and you kind of like lodge your finger in between the like teeth of it almost, this little like V shape. So when you accelerate, you just pull the trigger like you normally would. To brake, you push away from yourself. That felt nice and intuitive, smart, and exactly what you needed. You do have this like FN toggle on the side that you can push in to set up the menu and go through and change to video or photo, change the settings and whatnot. So that feels natural. You don't have to then use this touch panel on the side of the headset itself. So that's handy, nice and convenient. And then the thumbstick itself is something that you can use if you don't purely want to use the motion controller. You can then also do little tweaks, little movements with the thumbstick as well. So overall, the controller actually does feel really nice. Feels very similar to the original, just a few little tweaks here and there, but overall, very similar to the original, but unfortunately this is what you need to make it work with the Mini 3 Pro. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is actually compatible with the Mavic 3 series as well, which is a lot of fun to play around with and use. It doesn't look like it's compatible with anything else just yet, but I would imagine that we would see more compatibility as time goes on. So let's go into battle stations. I'm gonna put this on right now, and we're gonna see how well this does perform. I'm just gonna set up everything that I need to do. I've got the antennas up, I've got my hat on. So here we go. So make sure surrounding area is safe. Let's do this. I'm gonna press the lock button twice. Propellers go. I think I press and hold the lock button to take off. There we go. Okay, so this literally, from what I can see, feels exactly like the Avata. It's the trigger, you press the trigger, you kind of push away from yourself to brake, which is nice and easy. Very simple to just go from accelerating into the brake mode. I can chuck it into sports mode. I believe I just pressed this. There we go. So now I'm in sports mode, which has actually disabled the sensors. So now I can launch it with a bit more speed. Oh, wow. And then brake. The braking's nice and responsive. That actually feels really good. Very trippy to be able to have a Mini 3 Pro utilizing this FPV approach. And I love it how it's automatically kind of in that FPV mode straight away, like by default. I can just launch it down this pathway here. Oh, this looks amazing. How good is this? So let's just go up. And I believe, from my understanding, there's the home point there, so I can see where the home point is. And that's where I am, just down there at the home point. So I can come in. I noticed the feed dropped a little bit because I obviously have a bit of range on me. Right, but that works nicely. Let's bring the drone down a little bit. There we go. That's crazy. How good is that? Super responsive. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, this literally feels like the Avata, which, as I said in my original video, was and still probably is the most fun I've ever had with a drone. But now using the Mini 3 Pro, which is one of my favorite drones of all time, with this FPV setup is literally the perfect combo. And anyone can get this, you know, like if you got the Mini 3 Pro, you just gotta make sure that you get the Motion 2, this one here, with that kind of brake. So your finger kind of sits there and then you brake by pushing away from yourself, which is quite intuitive. It's nice to have that as an option. So here we go. I'm gonna try to do something a bit different here. So we're gonna go up and just kind of bank around. Oh, wow. How cool is this? This is wild. I keep finding myself looking down, which is really weird. I think I need to get the focus right. Okay, so let's go up. Go a little bit higher. There we go, nice cloud shot. It's good that we've got such a range of motion looking up. It's almost, what is it, 90 degrees? No, couldn't be 90, it'd be like 60 degrees maybe. There we go. So now we can see I'm still in the same spot. There I am, there's the car. It's the location I'm in here. And again, that intuitive motion control, like I said in my original thoughts, like it's the weirdest feeling in the world, but the most fulfilling, like the most satisfying, definitely not fulfilling, that's the wrong word, but the most satisfying feeling, because you know, you can just move your hand literally like that in space in the middle of nowhere, and it will respond immediately to that motion. It's extremely responsive, like no issues with the responsiveness of that controller. And to be able to have that brake in a better position, I actually do enjoy that a lot. So to be able to push away from yourself nice and quickly, that actually does make a difference for those quick moments where you need to brake. If you are looking to upgrade your Mini 3 Pro flight experience, then you can get yourself the RC Motion 2 and the goggles directly through Australia's authorized retail store for DJI products. They're known as the D1 store, and you can use the code DANSTube to save some money over there. So if it is the accessories you're looking for, the goggles and maybe the motion controller, or maybe you've got the goggles, you just need the Motion 2, you can use that code DANSTube on their website. Alternatively, if you're looking for some combos or a better deal, or you know, maybe you're looking for something else completely different, then just reach out to them directly, sales@d1store.com.au, mention DanceTube, and they will help you out with the best deal they can. There are a few other cool features on this controller itself, like you do have the FN toggle on the side here, so I can kind of go between different modes. So if I press it in, it will bring up the menu, and I can go between like photo and video, change the shutter, ISO, all that kind of stuff. So that's nice to have that on the fly. And then you also have the touchscreen as well on the actual headset. So you just get a little bit of functionality there. The drone's just literally spinning around. Let's bring it back. Like you can just see, like I can see based on where the camera is. Like, so let me just stand here. I can see based on where the camera is, if I'm going like that and the camera's looking down, the drone's gonna start flying down. If I look up and then accelerate, it's gonna start going forward. I can turn. You can see how responsive this is. Like, it really is extremely responsive, and you can be confident that it's gonna do the job for you, gonna do exactly what you want it to do. So let's do another one. Let's launch it again and see what we can get here. So far, very impressed. And let's see what we can do. Come down here. We're gonna go up over the tree line. Yeah, it's amazing. Really does feel like the Avata. Love this FPV perspective. This is actually a really cool spot I'm in with all these trees. Not ideal if I hit any tree though. But having that H, that home point as a visual thing, is really cool. That does make a big difference. I love how simple it is to just angle the camera down as well. And this is in sports mode, so it's just crazy agile in the air. Obviously you don't have the sensors on now, but if I change the mode again, let's put it into just normal mode. The sensors should immediately enable now. It's gonna fly a little bit slower again, but it's gonna give me a little bit more, I guess, awareness of the area and what's happening. So that's handy that you can switch that nice and simply from the actual controller itself. Let's punch it back into sports mode. Let's just see how the range goes with this direction, because I did notice that the actual feed did drop out a little bit, which is a little concerning because I'm not flying too far away from myself. I'm now flying with the direction that I'm pointing the controller itself, and I can see the feed is fine. It's definitely dropping a little bit. You can see image transmission signal is dropping, and you can see I'm really not that far away. So I think because it's such a dense area, that's probably playing against us here, but it just shows you you're not getting amazing range. You'd want to be in an open area where there's nothing around you. So yeah, you want to just keep that in mind. The range is not as good as you're going to get from your actual main controller. So it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now I'm back in normal mode. We can hear the sensors going. So let's see how it performs as I come up behind myself here. I can see all the sensors going off. Hasn't stopped, it's just continuing. It is doing a really good job. It's definitely going a lot slower. But you can see the sensors still work. It still lets you know, roughly what's going on. It doesn't give you that heads-up display to let you know that the sensors are all around you. It's not really letting you know what direction it's noticing. It does occasionally, so I can see it's not maybe as intrusive almost as just the default. I can see it kind of comes up with little icons. It's a bit more subtle actually. It kind of does have the same effect. You can see the little orange bars coming up everywhere. It kind of does have the same effect, but it's just a bit more subtle, which is good because I guess you're using this screen as your focus point, so you really don't want it to be too intrusive. So straight when I disable that, go to sports mode, all of those sensors disable, and that's where you get the speed and you get a bit more, I guess, a bit more agility from the actual drone. So far though, it is very impressive. The range is the only thing so far. I can't really send it too far. You can see down the bottom there, the HD seems to be dropping, which would be the HD feed. The RC seems pretty good though. I think it's more so the feed that's dropping. I think the range is okay. It's just the actual feed you're getting to the headset that seems to occasionally drop. But again, still very impressive with what it can do. And you can see I'm in a nice open area, a few trees around. You can kind of get that cool banking effect like you would with an FPV drone where you turn the corner, you kind of lift up and over the top of the tree line. Yeah, it's very responsive. Very impressed. So like I said, don't forget to check out the giveaway that I'm currently running on the channel for the Mini 3 Pro. That will be available for the next week or so by the time that this video comes out. But yeah, if you do already own the Mini 3 Pro and you're thinking about getting something like this to make things a little bit more fun and novel and exciting, this is the move. Really, this is such a fun experience. And just to see how responsive that controller is, like, man, until you use it, you honestly, you don't know what you're missing out on. It's like a usable experience, it's not just getting it for the sake of getting it, because you're actually having a lot more natural response from the feedback, because it's intuitive, right? It's like your hand knows which way you want to go, so it just feels really natural. You're not worried about those little fine movements on a controller with the sticks. So let's get it right in the frame so you can kind of see, and yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? It's like I can just turn the controller like that to look around. If I look up, the camera looks up. If I look down, the camera looks down. It's just so simple, right? It's just so simple. And then when I want to accelerate, I basically point in the direction I want, and then you pull the trigger. That's all you do. And then if you want to brake, you pull the trigger and then pull back on the trigger with that guy. So very simple to get used to. I am confident flying this thing close to me, which is pretty impressive. You can see how I can actually get subtle movements, right? You can see the little turns I can get. I can accelerate and brake. And it is responsive to every single touch that I'm putting it through. And the footage itself looks great because this is a great camera system on the Mini 3 Pro. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a lot of fun to test it out in this location. A few moments I was a little bit nervous when the video feed was dropping, but overall it was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was responsive, it was fun, and yeah, I got the shots I was looking for. It does definitely create some cool FPV shots with your Mini 3 Pro. So if you're into film and you've got the Mini 3 Pro, you're getting a lot of real estate content or different content for like companies you're working for, getting yourself something like this setup allows you to get something a little bit more unique again, and also brings more vitality and excitement into your workflow. So definitely worth checking out if you have the money. And like I said, the giveaway for the Mini 3 Pro will be available. There will be a link below. Check it out on the channel. And yeah, I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.